Speaking of trades, what did you all think of the trade overall? Though I feel like we maybe should have been able to get a little more, but with our team, like I guess I get us not getting more. What y'all thoughts are?
I 100% feel like we could have got more. If you looked at the receivers that went the week before, Devontae went early. I mean, we're talking about Devontae though, but you know what I'm saying? Amari Cooper went for I think a third or fourth.
Can't remember.
But you know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, for us to get a 5 and we had to get rid of a 6 to get a 5.
And to be honest, if you really look at it, the Ravens are going to have a low 5. We're going to have a high 6. We talking maybe moving 6 picks.
Bro, they fleeced us. I mean,
like we really gave them away. But if you really look at it, I think he signed the extension earlier. So he really only had 1 year, maybe 2 years left on his contract. With us, his production was going to be so bad that he wasn't even going to set himself up to really get bread again. You know what I'm saying? Or at least not the competitive bread that he wants. He's probably wanting to be paid as one of the top receivers, and he wouldn't be able to justify them numbers. His agent couldn't. Nobody could. So, I mean, I ain't mad at him wanting to dip.
We paid as a top receiver.
You saying
top 5 though. If we pay top 5 receiver.
You saying that makes me realize, like, the Panthers, we haven't had a complete GM in a while. Like, you look at Marty Herney, a great drafter, but horrible when it came to handling the cap. Dave Gettleman, great with the cap, hard with kind of recruiting. It looks like our GM now is decent talent scout, maybe potentially based off this draft class. But when we talk about trading away for value, that's 2 trades that, according to the market, he lost.
He got the second round pick back for next year.
But when you look at Brian Burns was consensus 2 first round picks, and you look at what we got for him.
But he didn't get the job until after that deal was off the table. Like, if he had been in position, he probably would have made. Remember, that was 2 years ago. They offered that deal. So I mean, that we can't really hold him accountable for that. He got he had the chips he was dealt. So,
now, granted, different sport, but do you think if Danny Ainge was in that spot, he not getting those 2 first round picks?
Nah, but
that's what I'm saying. Like
your cachet in the league, your cachet in the league matters. This is Dan Morgan's. It's all about relationships. You know what I mean? I feel like Dan is probably at this point having to do business with dudes that are willing to do business with him. I mean, the Ravens, like I said, they fleeced us. So I mean, it is what it is with that. But I ain't gonna say he's done a bad job with trades.
Yeah, I feel like he hasn't maximized value.
What was the other trade you was talking about?
The C-Mac trade, but he wasn't. He didn't do the C-Mac trade.
And look what we got for that. Like, I'm just looking at the Brian Burns trade. We didn't get as much as we should have.
Just can't hold on for that.
And with Deonte Johnson, I feel like we should have at least just got a 5th back without the fact we threw in a pick is crazy.
Yeah, that's what irritates me the most. And I don't understand. We threw in a pick, bro.
We threw in a pick. They clearly don't value Deonte the way we do. I mean, maybe they're looking at it like when he was in, Pittsburgh. I mean, he was putting up decent numbers, but he was clearly the number 2 there. You know what I mean? And Pickens is not even an elite receiver, and you're a number 2 behind him. So, I mean, that just means on a really good team, you're a number 3. So, I mean, why would we pay? I mean, when you really look at it, that probably is a 4th or a 5th. I mean, we're valuing Deonte because we're looking at our roster. We suck. But everybody else might be looking at their roster like, is he going to be the number 1 on
Yeah,
I don't know if he
over
is.
Bateman?
Bro.
Oh, Zay Flowers.
They got Zay, and Bateman ain't trashed. I mean, Bateman, they probably bought, when Bateman healthy, they probably bought the same, bro. And they got Mark Andrews. He's the 3rd receiving option for sure.
Yeah, that's true. And likely. So, yeah, you're right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's 5th round worthy.
Yeah. I also think
Dan some slack, man.
I also think Dan need to be on the phone with the Cowboys every day. Like, hey, y'all sure you don't want Hubbard? You sure you don't want Miles? Like, I think that's a easy Hubbard's place to pick up a 3rd or a 4th. Because they need a running back.
Ain't nobody thirsty for Miles, but Chuba, we could probably get some value. I don't want to just let motherfuckers go just because. But
that's what we just did with Burns and Deonte Johnson in my eyes.
Nah, Johnson wanted to go. That's what I'm saying. I think it's contract.
But yeah, so we couldn't get a 5th without a high 6. That's the other thing. Like, if we was a good team and it was a borderline 7th, like, we basically gave up because we're gonna have either the 1st or 2nd pick in the 6th round. So that's basically a really late 5th.
I think what that shows me too is that there might have been something going on in the building with Deonte.